Revenge, vindictive, unlawful. These are the words currently flying through the Superior Court of Los Angeles. But they aren't lines from a movie script. They're the accusations Brad Pitt is leveling against the mother of his children, Angelina Jolie. In the latest explosion of their never-ending legal war, Brad Pitt has filed new complaints, explicitly claiming that Angelina's decision to sell her share of their French winery, Miraval, was not a business decision, but a personal act of vengeance designed to inflict harm on his reputation. It is a headline that grabs attention immediately, painting Angelina as a scorned woman trying to burn down her ex-husband's empire. But if we stop listening to the lawyers for a moment and start listening to the silence of the children involved, a very different, far more complicated picture emerges. While Brad fights to cancel the deal with Russian billionaire Yuri Shefler, claiming his rights were violated, he may be winning a legal battle while simultaneously losing the moral war in his own home. One of our viewers recently commented, "The more he drags Angelina to court, the more his children are going to hate him." And looking at the details of this new filing, that prediction feels hauntingly accurate. We have to ask ourselves, is Brad Pitt fighting for justice, or is he fighting for control? And conversely, is Angelina Jolie truly trying to escape a painful past, or is she, as Brad claims, intentionally trying to sabotage the one thing he loves most outside of his family? Today, we are going deep into the War of the Rosé. We aren't just looking at the sale of a vineyard, we are looking at the sale of a family's peace. We will analyze why Brad's latest move, while legally aggressive, might be the final nail in the coffin of his relationship with his kids, and why Angelina's supporters believe she had no other choice. Let's start with the facts of this new filing, because context is everything. Brad Pitt's legal team is arguing that Angelina Jolie secretly sold her 50% stake in Chateau Miraval to a company controlled by Russian oligarch Yuri Shefler. Brad claims this was done without his consent, violating an alleged mutual agreement that neither would sell their interests without the other's permission. His lawyers state in the court documents that this was a vindictive and unlawful move, motivated by an adverse custody ruling last year. The narrative Brad is constructing is clear. Angelina was angry about a custody decision, so she sold the winery to a stranger just to hurt him. He frames himself as the victim of a bitter ex-wife's rage. And if you look at it strictly from a business perspective, as many of Brad's supporters do, you can understand his frustration. He poured years of work into that vineyard. He sees it as a passion project, something he built with his own hands to leave as a legacy for the children. To have a stranger, specifically a Russian billionaire, with whom he says he cannot do business, is undoubtedly a nightmare for any entrepreneur. However, we cannot look at this lawsuit in a vacuum. We have to look at it through the lens of the family dynamic, specifically through the eyes of the children who have lived through the trauma of 2016. When Brad calls Angelina's action revenge, he is ignoring the counter-narrative that has been fiercely defended by her side. Angelina has stated that she sold her share because she could no longer be part of a business that sold alcohol, the very substance that she claims contributed to the destruction of their family. This is where the debate becomes incredibly heated. Brad's defenders argue that business is business and a contract is a contract. They say Angelina knew what she was doing and that bringing a Russian oligarch into their private business was a calculated low blow. But Angelina's defenders see it differently. They argue, how can you force a woman to stay in a business partnership with her ex-husband, especially one centered around alcohol, when she is trying to heal from the trauma associated with it? Imagine being Knox or Pax in this situation. You know your father had a drinking problem. You know it was the catalyst for the plane incident. And now you see your mother trying to sever ties with the alcohol business, trying to get out, trying to liquidate her assets to move forward. And what does your father do? He sues her. He calls her vindictive. He tries to drag her back into the partnership she is desperate to leave. To the children, this doesn't look like a man protecting his business. It looks like a man refusing to let a woman go. It looks like financial control. One viewer pointed out, she gave him their 2 main homes without compensation. She has never spoken ill of him in public. When you contrast Angelina's public silence regarding the details of the abuse with Brad's aggressive legal filings regarding the winery, the bully narrative begins to take shape in the minds of the public, and likely in the minds of the children. The filing mentions that the sale was motivated by a custody ruling. This is a crucial detail that links the business war directly to the children. By bringing this up, Brad is essentially telling the world and his kids that their mother's business decisions are just extensions of her anger over custody. It personalizes a financial dispute. It tells Knox, Vivian, and the others that their mother is doing this because she didn't get her way with them. This is a dangerous game to play. Teenagers are incredibly perceptive about power dynamics. If they perceive their mother as the primary caregiver, which by all accounts she has been for the last 8 years, then an attack on her financial independence feels like an attack on their stability. If Brad succeeds in voiding the sale, he is essentially stripping resources away from the household where his children live. The reports say this legal battle has cost millions of dollars, millions that could have been inheritance, millions that could have been charity. Instead, it is lining the pockets of lawyers in a fight that seems to have no end. As the news report stated, just like the divorce, the couple announced their split in 2016. But until now, nothing has been resolved. It is a state of perpetual conflict. And here lies the tragedy of Brad Pitt's strategy. He might be legally right. Maybe there was an agreement. Maybe he has a case on paper. But in the court of family, he is making a catastrophic error. Every time he files a new complaint, every time he uses words like vindictive or harmful against Angelina, he is widening the chasm between himself and his kids. He is proving to them that he values the vineyard more than the peace. He is proving that he would rather fight Angelina than co-parent with her. We have to wonder, does Brad realize that his victory in court might be the very thing that cements his defeat at home? If he wins the winery back, but Knox never speaks to him again, is that a win? There is a concept in psychology called post-separation abuse, which often involves using the legal system to harass or control an ex-partner. Whether or not that is Brad's intent, that is how it feels to a large portion of the audience, and likely to the children who are fiercely protective of their mother. They see her trying to close a chapter, and they see him forcing it back open. But let's play devil's advocate for a moment, because Brad's supporters raise a valid point. If Angelina truly just wanted out, why did she sell to a party she knew Brad would hate? Was it a desperate move to liquidate quickly, or was there a sting in the tail? Was it, as Brad claims, a deliberate attempt to poison the well? This is the question that divides the internet. Some say Angelina is a master manipulator playing the long game. Others say she is a victim, simply trying to survive a powerful man. The involvement of the Russian billionaire adds another layer of complexity, but it is noise compared to the central emotional issue. The issue is that Brad Pitt cannot seem to stop fighting. He is caught in a loop of grievance, and children, especially adult children like Maddox and Pax, have no patience for a parent who plays the victim while holding the power. So as we read these new headlines about revenge and harm, let's remember who is really being harmed. It isn't Brad's reputation. His reputation as an actor is fine. It isn't Angelina's bank account, though the legal fees are draining. The real harm is being done to the possibility of reconciliation. Every legal filing is a brick in the wall that the children are building to keep their father out. Brad claims Angelina is trying to damage his business. But the sad reality is, by pursuing this scorched earth legal strategy, Brad is damaging his own legacy as a father. He is trading his relationship with his living, breathing children for a piece of land in France. As this lawsuit drags on, entering yet another year of litigation, the question isn't who will win the winery. The question is who will be left standing when the dust settles. Angelina seems ready to walk away, even if it means selling to a stranger. Brad seems determined to hold on, even if it means suing the mother of his children. In the end, the judge will decide the fate of Miraval. But Knox, Shiloh, Vivian, and the others have already issued their verdict on the fate of the family. And judging by their silence, their removal of his name, and their unwavering support of their mother, Brad's legal aggression has cost him far more than grapes. This is where I want to turn it over to you, because the divide in the comments is always fascinating. There are those of you who believe Brad is the victim of a vindictive plot, that he built the business and deserves to protect it. You see Angelina's sale as a betrayal of their original agreement. And then there are those of you who believe Angelina is the victim of legal bullying, that she has a right to sell her property and move on from a toxic past without her ex-husband's permission. Is Brad Pitt right to fight for his business, regardless of the family cost? Or is this lawsuit just another form of control that justifies the children's distance? Is Angelina vindictive, or is she just trying to escape? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is a complex story with no easy heroes, but the fallout is undeniable. We will keep following the truth wherever it leads, finding the human story inside the Hollywood machine.